There are lots of champions who have been released into Raid Shadow Legends who have the ability to place poison debuff on the enemies, whether it's legendaries, epics, or even rare champions who can do it. Single target hits, A1s, multiple hits, AoE, poisons, whatever you need in certain occasions. But this champion I want to feature or showcase in this champion guide video is one of the worst one that places poison debuff, and that's why it's not often used by players in Raid. So normally this my champion guides come out here with these champions and showcase them, show them where you're gonna use them, but this one I strongly advise against building this champion for poison because you most likely replace him very soon, and I'll explain why. Now, from the long list of poison champions right here in Raid, some popular ones, some people even preferred their Frozen Banshee, or even if you get an epic like Aothar and Venomous, these are the MVPs and people prefer these ones. I'm saying if you build this champion that I'm about to showcase in this video, you will most likely obtain one of these ones and replace him very fast. What is his name? His name is Aothar, and I've had him for a very long time in Raid. If he's your first poison champion in Raid, definitely take him to 50 and use him for that content. But I'm afraid that after you get some other better champions, you no longer use this champion because he brings nothing else to the game. And let's head over to his skills and see why this champion is not very popular as a main poison champion, which is the main thing you should be doing in your teams. All right, on the A1, this champion attacks one enemy 2 times. Let me actually show his champion avatar so we're not looking at a blank screen. There it is right there, Aothar. So that's an A1 that attacks one enemy 2 times, has a 25 and 15% chance of stealing one random buff from the target. Have fully booked it, and it is been boosted by an extra 10% chance of stealing a random buff from the target. Now, buff stealing from a target, he already has enough accuracy to place poison. Therefore, this buff stealing has a very low chance, but sometimes I get against the some enemies it might work, but it's not something you rely on. A 25% chance of stealing buffs is too low to rely on it. So this A1 is useless. And now let me skip the A2 and go to this A3. Attacks one enemy, place block active skills debuff for 2 turns. Now, if you know anything about block active skills, you normally want it to be an AoE block active skills, but you will normally see that on legendary champions, right? So if he's an epic champion with block active skills, at least he needs to do something else. So this skill is 3 years old, 3 years ago, and it should be updated. And so far, these block active skills for one enemy just takes out that enemy. Maybe it makes them use only their A1 or so. They can use their other skills for 2 entire turns, so the most damage dealing ability on the enemy will just not be used. So this might help full in dungeon content where you have some heavy nukers, but guess what, these dungeons don't have one heavy nuker, you have 2 or 3 on the enemy wave. So it should do something else more than just block active skills. Maybe decrease attack AoE, but this champion is one that his A3 is also useless. Definitely not a champion you want to use for the arena, because block active skill is very useful in the arena also, but this is not a champion for that content. It seems like this is a dungeon champion, and this block active skill doesn't work against bosses, so this makes it very useless in terms of boss stages. You never want him to use this skill. And then basically it not used in the arena at all. So this A1 and A3 just looks like they are totally useless. Now down to his poison ability, which is the A2, and this is the one. Just because he places poison, 4 poisons, doesn't mean that he's good. It's on a 3-turn cooldown, which is a good thing, but 4 poisons, how long do they last? 2 turns. So that's total 8 ticks of poison that will happen. But before he gets around to this skill, the poisons will fall off, and the enemies or the boss will be standing there without poison at least for 1 turn before you can place it again. So now against, the only exception I'll say this is going to be useful is against maybe the clan boss. With the right masteries, you can have this champion even placing poison for more than 2 turns. So that's the only viable place against the clan boss or against the dragon, or even maybe the ice golem. Those are maybe 3, let me just say not 1, 3 content where against that particular boss, when you place these poisons, you kind of have a field day when they have 4 entire poisons on them and you're waiting for your skill to come around again so you can place it again. If you're also very faster than the boss specifically, you can even have your opportunity to land it again before the first 4 poisons expire. Now, if you know anything about raid, we like to not just place 4 poisons. We like to place 4 and then another 2 or another 3. Basically, you want to fill up the bar. Total 10 debuffs can be placed on the boss. So after you have your decreased defense and weaken or decreased attack, you're looking for the all other slots to be filled with your damage debuff, in this case poison. So landing 4, letting it fall off, landing another 4 is not a viable way of doing damage. And of course, if you're coming from a place where you're using Frozen Banshee, you have no choice because Aothar seems like an improvement to her. But a Frozen Banshee in a counter attack set might be even filling up the poison bar than Aothar. That's just the truth, because if you hit her, she goes with her A1. If she's even in a counter attack or ally attack team, she will even be using her A1 to even fill up the poison bar than an Aothar. So that's the only comparison that he has with a rare champion like that, and that's not even good. Now, if you go over and comparing with somebody like an Occult Brawler just places crazy amount of poison also, even with his A1 consistently. And yeah, so there are a lot of new champions like Torage the Frog and others who have come in, even a Dark Kill. Let me not even keep comparing it. Let me just stick to hyping up this champion a little bit and telling you where he might help you a little bit, but this is the only thing he brings. So if you're gonna use him in the early game when you're trying to get to brutal clan boss, where poison is still a very good way to do damage in that early game, it's viable. You can place the 4 poisons, wait for his skills to come around again and place it again, because the A1 is not going to land anything. It's not going to also steal. Even that increased attack that the boss puts on himself, you hardly can use this A1 to steal it because it's a very low chance. And of course, with the right masteries it might happen, but you're not going towards defense mastery for this champion. You're going towards the support mastery and the attack mastery section. All right, he has an aura that you can put him in the leader slot and have a boosted increased attack for all your other allies by 21%. This feels like you want to use this champion in every other content, Doom Tower, Hydra, whatever. But no, I've never seen Aothar being used anywhere else besides that early game clan boss or early game dragon. Now, when the City of Sintranos came around, where he was one of the few champions you could use in one of those corset city stages, that's the only reason that made me bring this champion out of the vault, put him to level 60 and let him help me beat one of those stages in corset city. So that's the only reason. Not even faction war sacred order was gonna make me build him, because that faction was already taken care of. I had a lot of good, you have Deacon Armstrong, you have a lot of good sacred order faction champions, Amiga and others, that you could help take down faction wars. So he is not very good for wave content, because faction wars feels like it's more about the wave, but when you get to the boss, depending on whether that boss returns all your debuffs to you, he might help. So that's what I think about his skills. How would you want to build a poison champion? Because that's what he's only good at. His 2 other skills also need accuracy, so you want to just go speed and accuracy sets or perception sets. So I went with 1 piece of perception set and 2 random sets, right? What is this one called? A merciless set, which is not even necessary. But I just went random sets that are good for my account and I just put it on him. But normally in the early game, I always recommend, you're building this champion for that early game, put this champion in a clan boss. He will help you place that poison consistently and keep himself alive, well, semi-consistently, and keep himself alive with the lifesteal set, and maybe a 4-piece 4 lifesteal and 1 set of perception or accuracy set or speed set to make sure you meet the speed requirement. You always want to go speed on the boot as usual. This champion's damage is based on attack, so I did give him 100% crit rate. I'll show you my total stats right here. Crit damage, yes, maybe his masteries might be crazy good, that's why they give a single target A1 and a single target A3. Maybe he hits extremely hard. I've never really heard anybody say anything good about his multipliers. He has a base attack of 1509 right there, but I don't know whether that's good enough to make him hit extremely hard. I just built him for that City of Sintranos content, and yeah, I went accuracy on the banner as usual, and then crit damage again on the amulet, because I'm not building this champion for defense for early game content. So that's what I went with this champion, just random sets just to test him in that City of Sintranos content. So Let me see total stats. I got up to 41k HP, 2300, so I went about 35 on the attack, and 207 speed. Is not in any speed tune team, so it doesn't really matter. Managed to get up to almost 100% crit rate and 265 crit damage. Check out the accuracy right there, which should be enough for those City of Sintranos content where I built him for. Obviously, it's not in a stun set, it's not in any magical set that will help in the wave content. It's just there to maybe contribute some damage because I don't have a lot of champions for that particular stage to help me take it down. So that's why I built him like this. It doesn't even require this amount of resistance, but I just focus on accuracy, crit rate, and crit damage, and some attack. That's what I was looking for. So let me know what you think about this champion's build and where you use him especially, because I'll be interested to know. It was so bad that normally I come out to give you champion guys and I'll tell you the full masteries of this champion. I don't think this is one that I'll be farming masteries for. I don't think, because I built him for only the City of Sintranos content. There are people, champions I build in for City of Sintranos content and I farm masteries for them. He doesn't belong to that category. So I don't mean to bash Aothar, but I've not enjoyed him since I started playing the game. I will test him out in some content. Let's see how it actually works in battle. But I would suggest that you probably want to go with War Master as one of the ways you can contribute damage to his hits. And I'm going towards this support role right here. If you're going to use this champion for the clan boss, the mastery that will increase the duration of placing, that's it right here, sniper. Increase the chances of placing any debuff. No, not this one. This one has a 30% chance of extending the duration of any debuff cast by this champion. So that's the one you want on him so that he can, land the 4 poisons for maybe 3 turns instead of 2 turns. Not all of them will get a 3 turns. Some might get 3 turns, some might get 2 turns. You never know. So that's the best one right here. It can increase the duration of the poisons he lands. Yeah, that would be a nice one. Nice touch for him. All right, let's head over to the dragon, where that's one content I will be trying him out for this video. And yes, we'll get all the way to the dragon boss and see whether we can take it down. I'm not going to try it in dragon 20, even that's the early game content. I want to try it at 25 to see how we can help take down that content. And I will always pair this champion up with a semi early game team like this. This feels like a not full of legendaries, right? These are rares. And he is going to be the MVP main source of damage dealing right here. My Aothar is not even well built in the stun set. So he's the main source of damage. Let's see how long it takes us to get through the wave, because he is not a wave clearing champion. He's supposed to help us take down the boss. So I want to see if he can really take down the boss at level 25. Of course, he can do it at 20, but I want to give him level 25 as a challenge. So I'll turn off my super rates and start this battle. Without interfering with it, I'll see which skills he used in the battle. And yeah, let's see him. Let's first of all see on slow-mo which skill will he start with the battle with. Hopefully he's poison. The question is, who will he even poison? There are 5 enemies. He went with his A3 first because he doesn't want us to take too much damage. He was so kind. He doesn't want to do damage to them first. He went with the A3. There we go, stunning the enemies. And wait, why did 2 people get poisoned? Did I say that's a single target hit or an AoE skill? Okay, now I see it's random hit, right? So 2 poisons right here, 1 poison over there. Damn, I got that one wrong. I thought that was a single target hit. Well, I think it's always seen as a single target hit when you say a skill is random. Let me check it again, because random and single target feels like the same thing for me in my own understanding, because it feels like if you cannot trust where your poisons go. Let me read it again, where it is. Attacks 4 times at random. So me, I'm thinking each hit, that's all I'm interested in against bosses. So what we know about attacking 4 times at random is kind of good against the Fire Knight. Yes, against the Fire Knight, any champion that has multiple hits like this is kind of good. So watch out for that if you're lacking multiple hitters for the Fire Knight. You want to save this skill until you get to the boss and use it against the boss shield to bring it down faster with your apothecary or with your cold heart. All right, let's keep going. So it doesn't seem like it's that bad. Let me forward the run and let's get through the wave and get straight to the boss. I don't want to fast forward it. I want to actually see whether he's helping at all in terms of damage. Okay, that's 4 poisons on 1 enemy. If the enemy takes a turn now, see how much damage he will take. My Deacon is also in a stun set. That's why we're not allowing the enemies take much turns. Ooh, we got hit. We have an apothecary though, no problem. All right, that champion with 4 poisons is about to take a turn. He's gonna get melted by the poisons, I hope. Even more poisons. So I know I just bashed his name, but right now it seems like he is helping. But you don't call this help because you want AoE damage in this wave content, and this doesn't count as AoE damage. Now I've seen somebody like a Dark Kale, right, do his single target poison and still help us clear the wave with his other AoE hits. But this one just feels like it's not the same as that Dark Kale's own. Let me just pause this run, or let me just pause it and come back when it's always at the end. I'll see what he does against the boss. 1 second, guys. All right, it did take a while, but I finally got here. Lost 1 member of the team along the way, but hopefully we can still take down the boss with this. I will need some healing though from Apothecary so this champion doesn't die to the boss in the first hit. I don't think we're gonna die, but just to be sure. So what I need from him is just that AoE, well, not AoE, multiple hits on his poison that he does. That's what I need from him. I'm not doing on auto, I just want to make sure he prioritizes this skill, and that's it. Oh, 3, 1 got resisted. He does have enough accuracy for level 25, but you still have that 3% chance that you might not land one of the debuffs. He doesn't have the mastery to increase the duration of the poisons, but if he had this for 3 turns of each of them, it might take down this boss a lot faster. But let's see how many poisons he can lay on the boss before these 2 expire on full auto. Let's go. Come on, Aothar, don't disappoint me. The poison works well against this dragon, at least for 25 on normal mode, but for hard mode you have to think of other ways. Still does take damage from poison, but you have to think of other ways. That's it again. He was fast enough to place 8 poisons in total if he did not get resisted before the first poison could go off. So the boss did not get an opportunity to, you know, remove all the poisons or take damage from all the poisons. So that's it again. So we do have a full bar. So I guess that makes sense because he's faster, much faster than the boss. The boss at this stage is what, speed of 100 or so. So he's almost lapping the boss. That's why. Now against the clan boss, the case might be different because you want to be, you know, building a tune, not just going twice as fast as the clan boss, right? That's 4 poisons again. Landed 4 of them. Will you be able to land another one before the battle is done? I want to see another 4 poisons. Aothar, come on now. This is your best content. He's going in with the A1 instead. And 4 more poisons. He's done again. That's it. So he's doing his job. You can use this champion against content like this, against enemies like this who take a lot of poison. You can see that against the wave, he wasn't as useful. But against the boss, against a single enemy, he will be more useful. If you're looking for a champion who does poisons for AoE damage, I think Venomage will be your best option than an Aothar. But if you have no choice, he's the only hope for you, like he's the only hope for me for content like City of Sintranos. That's why you see it's +1. That's why I see I built him. That's why I wanted to showcase this champion, where I use him. I'd love to know different opinions about him though, because he's a very old champion in raid, and from all the looks of it, they do have a lot of legendary champions to, you know, rebalance and change their skills for the better. But it seems like he's not on the list, so I just wanted to put out this video and say, hey, Aothar is still here doing poisons like an epic champ, like a rare champion when he's actually an epic. We need something else that he will be doing with his A1 and A3. His A2 seems fine for the boss, but his A3 and A1 should now be better for maybe wave content or so, because if you're gonna get this champion for boss content, he needs to at least be useful in wave content. And that's why most people don't even like to use the Frozen Banshee in the dragon or other content, because she's kind of useless against the wave until she gets to the boss and begins to pop off. So he did just pop off right here and help us in this content. That's his champion guide. I know this one is not my normal champion guide where I hype up the champion, so I have hyped him up a little bit for Dragon's Lair after bashing it up, bashing his name and dragging his name in the mud and calling him all sorts of. But he has finally showed off right here. He works the same way in the Ice Golem. He's going to place a lot of poisons in on the boss, where he will share the poisons against the boss and his side arts. The boss does have 2 side arts by the corner, so that's going to be meaning the boss won't take all the poison. So you can target that right there. So Let me know what you think about Aothar. Is it going to be worth building and using in your faction war team, because he belongs to that secret order? But I feel like with Deacon in that faction war, with my Aothar, it's already taken care of. So I built him for this content. I even forget which stage where he was supposed to help me. I can't really check right now, but it was one of the City of Sintranos soul cross stages that I was supposed to use him in, or was it at this earlier stages? I forget, but I built him for that content and I used him for that content. So let me know where you use Aothar. Maybe he will not just be a champion I use only in soul cross. And yeah, for newer players, if you have a frozen banshee or an okra brawler, or even what's her name now, this other champion that I just showcased right now for poisons, them I can't forget. Yeah, Venomage. You do not need an Aothar. And from early game, I already have all these 3 crazy poisoners that I had, so I never needed to build an Aothar. So make your choices. Don't build him because you saw this video. Don't build him because it was used in only City of Sintranos. Don't build him because you just got a crazy epic. Build him because you don't have better options for poison, because that's the only thing he brings to raid. Later, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily raid content. Let me know in the comments below which champion you want me to take a better look at, so I don't have to dig deep in my archive and find one like this that I will never really build or hype on. Later, guys.